Noite é tempo de decisões. Na vila de Kearny, paredes meias com Newark, localizada no condado de Hudson, depois de praticamente mais de 20 anos debaixo da liderança de Alberto Santos, Carol Doyle assumiu a presidência há cerca de 2 anos. Estamos em época de eleições e no próximo dia 4 de novembro os residentes da cidade terão a oportunidade de eleger um novo mayor ou manter no cargo a atual mayor da cidade. É com grato prazer que dou as boas-vindas ao time republicano liderado por Sidney Ferreira. Sidney, desde já, thank you for being here. It is always a pleasure. I know that you speak Portuguese, so a quick introduction from you.
Meu nome é Sidney Ferreira, obrigado a todos por estarem aqui a ver nós aqui e para o Ricky e o WNN para dar-nos a oportunidade de estar aqui para falar com o povo. Thank you everyone for watching and thank you to Rick Durães and the entire team of WNN for inviting us to be here today. It's a pleasure, it's always a pleasure to be here. So and I'll leave it to you.
Thank you. And we're going to conduct this conversation in English. For sure you will be able to watch that in your channels, in your app, WNEN, also on social media. But more important will be important for you at home to understanding the message that we have. And we're going to start introducing everyone. For the first word, we have Smiley Walla. Smiley, welcome to WNEN.
Thank you. Hello, this is Smiley Walla and first ward living in Kearny, and thank you for opportunity to be put on WNNN. Will be a social media and as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Second ward, no segundo bairro, Margarita Fernandes. Margarita, bem-vinda.
How you doing? Yes, my name is Margarita Fernandez, and thank you so much to have us here at WNNN for this opportunity. So now you're gonna find out who really is the Republican team that we have to run for Kearny. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I want to make sure, you know, also I'm telling you that I'm also Portuguese, 100% Portuguese. Thank you so much, Ricky, to have everyone here.
Thank you. On the third ward, we have Jorge Santos. Jorge, boa noite.
Boa noite. Como é que você está? Estou a concorrer para o terceiro condado.
You can move to English. Don't worry about it. We good.
Thank you for having me, and always a pleasure to be with you here in the studio.
Appreciate that. And for the fourth ward, we have Anthony Morales.
Hi everybody, my name is Anthony Morales, running for the 4th Ward Councilman in Kearny, New Jersey. Looking forward to having a great conversation, talking about some of the major topics going on in Kearny, and I want to thank WNN for the opportunity.
Thank you, appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. And we're going to directly to the topics. We have 5 topics that we're going to discuss today. We're going to talking about parking, we're going to talking about budget and taxes, we're going to talk about Kearny Avenue, a beautiful corridor that is waiting for some solutions. Also public safety and quality of life, and then we're going to talking about one of the biggest issues in Kearny, flooding. I'm going to go straight to Sidney Ferreira. Sidney, parking, is that an issue in the city of Kearny?
I'm sorry, Rick. Yes, parking is a very big issue. It's one of the biggest issues that we hear about when we go out and we walk, and we've been walking and talking. Well, I've been doing it now for a little while because I've been running a couple of times, but since May or June we've been walking, and it is a very big issue. It's in a crisis mode now. It's gotten to the point where it's an actual crisis in town, where people don't even move their cars if they have to go shopping, if they have to run small errands. They will actually take an Uber to get their errands done. I feel like that is totally acceptable. We also have fights that happen, that break out in the streets. People, slinging knives and punching each other over parking spaces. So, and we were told it's an issue that keeps getting brought up. We had, during the 2023 election, we had several, parking meetings, and it really didn't go anywhere. So we were told just recently, a few months ago, that by the mayor herself, that parking is not the government's responsibility, is not the governing body's responsibility. And I take very big issue with that because I'm a resident as well, and although I do have a driveway, look, I have neighbors and I have other people in town, people that I knock on doors, that have a huge problem with parking, and it's unacceptable for the mayor to say that. Because she has been in power in the council as council president, now as mayor, for nearly 30 years. And she is part of the problem that we have. All of these buildings that were built, all of these homes that were converted from one families to two families and three and four and beyond, you know, that exasperated the problem. It made it worse. And people are desperate. They are very, very desperate. They even park illegally sometimes because they can't find parking. They go around for an hour, hour and a half looking for parking. And they say, you know what? I'm done tonight. I want to get home. I want to eat dinner with my family. You know, I'm just going to eat the ticket. That's it. Like, I just can't do it anymore.
What do you think that will be some of the solutions for that situation?
Well, we have to create more parking, Rick. We have to create more parking. And, you know, we keep getting told that it can't work. It won't work. We have to find a way. We have to create more parking. Even if it's certain amount of parking spaces per neighborhood, that will help. If we add 5, 6 spaces to certain neighborhoods, it's going to help the residents. You know, even if we charge market rate for those parking spaces to pay for, you know, the foregone property taxes or so on and so forth, you know, we have to do it. So we have to do something. So it's not just creating parking. It's also, like Margarita did in the second ward, she actually helped the residents get parking permits. So that may be a solution as well because she lives next to Harrison. And to her credit, although she doesn't have a parking issue because she too has a driveway, but she wanted to help her neighbors. So she, for 2 years, fought for parking permits, and it has alleviated the issues on her block. It has helped because people in Harrison were parking in those parking spaces. And Kearny residents cannot park in Harrison because Harrison has permits. And like we were told by our mayor, another thing that she said that I take very big issue with is she basically told people, well, you know, a longtime resident asked her, if I can't park in Kearny because everyone in Harrison parks here, and I can't park in Harrison because I don't have a Harrison permit, then where do I park? And she told her, you can park in Harrison, you just get a ticket. You know, those are unacceptable answers from a mayor. And we need to be better when we speak to residents and when we address them. We have to listen to their concerns, we have to take their concerns seriously, and we have to come up with solutions and not excuses. And that's what we've been getting, especially the last 2 years.
I'm pretty sure that we're going to go back to the parking issue, but let me run to the second topic that I had. It's about budget and taxes. You know, the taxes in Kearny become, a worry for everyone. You know, it's probably a challenge for the government body to resolve that issue. What is your taking on?
Budget and taxes, the budget, we know, and we just found out recently that it is even a bigger mess than actually what we were told by the mayor herself. So the budget is an entire mess. Taxes went up, but they could have gone up much more. But thanks to Mayor Al Santos, who left us a pretty sizable reserve, they didn't go because she was able to mask the tax increase by using some of the reserves and the surplus money. So from what we know, there's not much of it left now. So out of the millions that were left by Al Santos, we were told by the CFO that it was 28 million. Out of that money, there's very little of it left. And that's dangerous. It's dangerous because now we're in crunch time, right? We have serious cash flow issues. We don't have the amount of cash coming in to cover some of these expenses. Expenses have gone up. Healthcare for employees is one of them. 30% it went up in 1 year. And that's big. That's something that we should have been prepared for because the state warned us about that. We should have been prepared to address that, and we didn't. We just allowed it to, it's basically everything is done. It's like we put out the fires once the fire's already started. We have to prevent the fires from happening.
And that's exactly my follow-up question on that topic. What measurements do you think will work for Kearny Town?
So my biggest thing is, my passion is finance, right? I've always worked, I went to school for economics, and I worked for banks, and my passion is finances. And so the first thing that we're going to do, Ricky, is we're going to audit the budget. We have to figure out where we're spending the money because, like I said before, we went through the reserves and the surplus and we don't see where it went. Where did it go? Our streets are still a mess. Kearny Avenue looks outdated and worn and just neglected in certain parts. And other neighborhoods as well. And we have our main business corridors as well, Midland Avenue, which I live right next to. All of these areas have been neglected and ignored, and we spent all of this money. Where did we spend the money? And that's the first thing that we're going to do, is we're going to tear open the books, and we're going to find out exactly where we spent this money.
Let's go to the third topic, then I'd like to interact with your colleagues as well. But third topic, Kearny Avenue, important corridor for the city of Kearny. How you see that and the plans to change, if a change is needed?
So we've actually walked Kearny Avenue, and we've gotten lots of feedback from many of the business owners, and I apologize, I wanted to walk the entirety of Kearny Avenue. I didn't get a chance to meet all of the business owners, but that is something that I will be doing regularly as mayor, because I think it's important. And actually what we're going to do, what we actually discussed and we came up with is every quarter we're going to have a business meeting with the business leaders. Every quarter, if we could do it more often, and that's something that I promised the business owners as well, so we can get their feedback and we can help them with everything that many of the business owners complain about the condition of Kearny Avenue. It's dirty in some areas. There's garbage everywhere. There's stains on the sidewalks. The lampposts and the parking meters are all chipping. The paint is coming off of it. It just doesn't look inviting to their customers. These people pay a lot of money in rent. Some of them pay taxes, a lot of money in taxes, and they deserve to, be doing business in a nice area, right? I mean, you can't call your customers if your area doesn't look like it's nice, right? That's what we want. Another big problem on Kearny Avenue is the new Park Mobile system. It is terrible for the business owners. They said that their business has dropped significantly because of Park Mobile. Their customers constantly complain about it because the meters are, even though we were promised that it would only be either a quarter or Park Mobile, it's your choice. And Park Mobile, from what I understand, is $1.60 for an hour, and there's no other option. There's no 15 minutes. So if you come and pick up food, food is expensive nowadays. It's $1.60 to come pick up your food just to park for 10 minutes to pick up food. So then also the meters don't work. So they can't just put in a quarter. That would be very easy, right? You put in a quarter, you go pick up your food and whatever, everyone's happy. But when the meters are broken now, even though I believe that that's the town's fault and it shouldn't be on the resident to have to pay for Park Mobile. Some people don't want to download an app in their phone. The elderly, some of them don't even have smartphones. There are people, even there non-elderly people that don't have smartphones. We can't assume that everyone has a smartphone and can have an app. We also some people are worried about the safety of Park Mobile. Park Mobile has been hacked several times, and their information has been stolen. So those are concerns that we have to think about as well, and that has really affected business along the corridor of Kearny Avenue.
Fourth topic that I have for you is public safety and quality of life. For sure, talking about parking in that situation, but also, lately we see some news that, are not so positive for Kearny. Is public safety an issue? It is quality of life issues in Kearny.
Public safety is a very big issue. Rick, listen, things can happen anywhere, right? But the amount of things that have been happening lately, the frequency of things and the seriousness of things that are happening in our town, it's a very big concern. We spoke to several residents things that we don't even hear in the news. I know that there's only a certain portion of things that make the news, right? But there are many other stories that are out there that people tell me of things that happen to them. Their homes being broken into, doors being broken down in the middle of the night. So imagine, you're with your family. Some of them have little children, babies, and their homes are being broken into. We recently, just while we were walking, we walked into two homes that were recently broken into. And that's unacceptable. We can't, listen, I know we can't stop everything, right? We have to be also reasonable, right? But we have to provide the resources that are necessary to our police department, and we can't tie the hands of police officers to do their job. We have to allow them to do their job. And then there are other quality of life issues. There's noise issues that are in certain neighborhoods. And just, I would say the condition of the streets is another quality of life issue, right? People pay a lot of money in taxes. There's no reason why they should have to drive through potholes. I've done it myself, and I hear my car, boom, and it's, you think to yourself, man, I spent a lot of money on my car. I pay insurance, a lot of money in insurance. I shouldn't have to drive on streets that look like, it was, we've been through a war. It's unacceptable for the amount of money that people pay.
The last topic that I have for you, then we're going to speak with your candidate, has to do with infrastructure. Usually, we're talking about problems when raining, the sewer system. Is that an issue in Kearny? And what are the plans if you become the next mayor that you have in mind to fix or solve some of the problems that the town is facing?
Yes, we had an issue, a big issue that actually Margarita and her neighbors were involved in as well in addressing about 4 years ago when Sanford used to flood and there was sewage that was going inside the homes of people, flooding out their basements. They would have to constantly, replace their boilers and the heaters but thanks to them, I actually came out in 2021 to see the problem and I posted it everywhere, and so it finally got the attention that they deserve. To their credit, they've been dealing with this for 30, 40 years, some of them, and it was fixed. It took a little bit of time, but to their perseverance, they persevered and they got the job done, and they got the water pump in their neighborhood. And so there are other areas of town that do have the same issues. Other areas of the Second Ward. I know there's one area in the Fourth Ward that is East Midland Avenue that they still have some issues as well. But homeowners have even taken it to they've put in sub pumps and other systems into their homes. They spent thousands of dollars to do that themselves because they're afraid of the way that the setup is there, that it could flood again. It has flooded in the past and it could flood again because they're right next to the swamps and so on and so forth. So those are issues that we have to address as well. And again, we can't do it if there's no money in the budget. So we have to audit that budget. We have to figure out where we're spending the money. We have to cut it, and we have to reallocate it to things like this that will help the quality of life of residents.
Thank you, Sidney. I'd like to remind everyone at home that those are the 5 topics that Kearny residents bring to our attention. We come up with those 5 topics after years, some residents, and asking a simple question. What are the challenges that you're facing? What are the things that you think that should be a priority for the next administration? I'm going to move forward to the first ward. Smiley Walla, welcome for the second time.
Thank
I'd like
you.
to ask you a simple question, and that's going to be a question for everyone. What are the biggest challenge that you believe your ward is facing, and what do you have in mind to do to overturn that situation?
Hi guys, how are you? First issue is, of course, is a parking, which is next to Harrison. And Harrison people, of course, park on our streets. And obviously, a couple of times I spoke with the ex-mayor as well, but there was no solution coming up. Even though some residents was giving the opinions, their view how to solve it, but nobody want to take it. So since all these things was going on, and I'm local as a businessman, Belarus Pizza over there, and that's why people now, especially they come into the store as well, and they give me all the issues what they have, and especially with the what's called the parking, they gave some opinions. We will discuss all these things as soon as we will be in the town. Of course, we will try to resolve those, and which is of course bringing a parking permit issue there. So in this way, Harrison people don't park in our area, and that will be one of the part will be ease a little bit, not much, but then rest of other people's residents people already they have a properties. They gave some opinions. We will discuss on that.
Is any other topic that I would like to talk about or to presenting about? I'm planning to do a couple topics per candidate.
Sure, no problem. The tax is also, I just saw that tax went up, and obviously that will affect to the owners too, so they will increase the rent. and obviously then people will move out from this area, and that will be one of the issue in our area as well, because people in that area living there. I was since long time living in in Kearny, and rent was not that high, which is going on now, especially the development on that Passaic Avenue, and why they got the tax break should not be that way. Why a burden on the other residents?
Thank you, Smiley.
Yeah.
So we heard two concerns from the first ward, parking and taxes. Seems that we are aligned with the topics that was brought to our attention. I'm going to move to the second ward.
One more issue on that I have.
I'm sorry?
One more issue with
Ye-
I have.
Yes, go ahead,
Okay.
go ahead.
Sure, no problem. That will be the safety, which is lot of there, and all the people's right now, since I put in my name as a council, and even I got the permission before let her know, but somehow she went against, which is personal, which should not be go, because one of the council person also threatened in the business to my brother there, and which was not right. And I asked the questions. In other words, you can say that I ask apple, she is giving orange answer. So which is not right. So asking particular things, and also people, residents over there, the safety which is concerned. Already so many people said that after midnight, people knocking the door, and they are one of the, especially the house, she alone, because her son is already in the college, and I already mentioned that part as well. We have to take care of on that issue, why people come in late night and knocking the doors. And also during while ago, people was walking trying to open the door as well, and I reported at that time to the police and chasing over there. And then I think at that time they got a person, but I'm not sure, I don't want to say answer because this is while ago. At that time we was with the police also. At that time this guy is going this way, this direction, and, the safety is a concern, of course, a lot.
Thank you.
Because when I was in NJIT at that time, I used to walk, even money in the hand was no problem back in the 80s. And since now you can't even walk. Even some people did the stealing from there with what's called BP guns or something. We don't know it's a real gun or BP gun, so I cannot answer that. That was happened to my brother as well.
Thank you. Let's move forward to the second ward. Margarita Fernandes. Margarita, what are the biggest challenge that you believe your ward facing? And I'd like to hear from you some of the potential solutions for that.
Absolutely, yes. Okay, the big issue that we have in there, it's parking. Parking is a problem. But I already did something about parking. I worked for 2 years, and we got a victory in Sanford Avenue and Auden and Riley Street. So I got everyone together. We called the officials from the town, and we said to them, listen, we got this problem. How can we fix it? So we got many meetings in front of my house, and we did it. We got permits for everyone. It came out about 6 months ago, if I'm not mistaken. That was one of the biggest issues that we have over there, because the residents from Harrison come to our streets, and we fix it. And I want to keep going, street by street, like Hoyt, Dukes, Tappan, all those streets, they suffering a parking right now, parking issues. And I'm here to be, go forward and help them.
Is any other topic that you want to bring?
Absolutely, flooding issues. Also, I work with the residents. Again, Sanford and Riley, all those areas, that was for 30 years with flooding issues. Again, putting everyone together, the residents, every single one, knocking door. I called the officials, and they came to my house. You made that report in the studio, and Luis Pires went over there to make that whole thing, and we got it done. We have a storm pump for $2.5 million, and of course it did work. It alleviates the street. It rains, no more flooding. Also, another thing that I want to put it right now, that I was very concerned 2 weeks ago. I make a phone call for Mr. Neglia with the sewage pump that we're supposed to have, and they're going to start working next week. If God bring the weather nice, they're going to do it. The sewage pump for us, very important, because those things are important things in those areas to have a great life.
Thank you, Margarita. I'm going to move forward to the third ward, George Santos. George, same question. What are the biggest concerns, and what do you think that are the solutions if you become the next councilman?
So the biggest concern has always been parking. Even though large portions of the third ward where I live are relatively trouble-free, there's still issues that need to be addressed. I'm right on the border of the Belleville Pike, so I have North Arlington 150 feet away. We do get an overflow from North Arlington residents. Permits are necessary. We did talk about permits during the parking meetings, and I remember the former mayor saying, just $2. We're not going to charge for permits. We need you to bring your registration and your license. The car belongs in Kearny. You get a permit. It's simple. It's free, and it allows you to park anywhere in town. That's one thing. Other areas on the southern end of town where we have insane parking issues. I have stores that I won't even visit after 6 o'clock because it's impossible. A solution for parking is we have these municipal lots. These municipal lots are awarded on a lottery system. It's not a lot of spots, but they're spots. And I'll drive by at night, and these lots are half, 3/4 empty. Why? Well, here's an idea. Let's say you got home from work a little early, and you swung by your house, and you saw a spot. Well, guess what? You can take that spot. But guess what? The person that didn't get the lottery can't use the parking lot. Let's get rid of the lottery system, and let's just charge a nominal fee for overnight parking. Generate some revenue for the town, and they got a parking spot that they can use. Say $5 for the night, or $2 for the night, a small fee. Put it right on the meter, put it right on, or right on the pay station. It's a solution. Another problem is the saving of parking spots, and I talked to our former mayor years ago, and I proposed marking lines so that you have to park between the lines. You know, we can't, you know, we have such a parking problem that you can't have a car taking up 2 spots. So if you do that, you should get a ticket. You know, I mean, there's solutions. It's not going to be easy, but we can address this parking issue. You know, if we have a rough house that can be bought reasonably, it's not just the 6, 7, 8 spots that you could make by knocking down a house. What about the 6, 7, 8 spots that the residents of that house took up? And quite frankly, 14, 15 spots will make a difference in a neighborhood.
Any other topic that you want to mention?
Well, our taxes are high, and they keep going up. They've gone up again this year. And I feel it's mostly due to the tax breaks to the Russo development. I mean, this man pays 1/3 the tax ratio of everyone else. I've gone to meetings, I've been vocal, and my whole team has been vocal, and we actually knocked down one development, and now it's going to be condominiums, which I think is a benefit to the town because it's home ownership. I think it'll bring a different class of resident. I think it's better, and they're going to pay their fair share of taxes. And that's money that can go back into the pool to help with everything else.
Thank you, George. We're going to move forward to the 4th ward. Anthony Morales. Anthony, what are the biggest challenges that you are facing, and how are you planning to overturn that situation?
So I'm going to piggyback off of my colleagues. Parking, huge problem. I believe, you know, Kearny all over Kearny, we're hearing parking problems are happening, you know, day and night. I'm going to go with George on this idea with painting the lines. That's a good solution, because what could happen here, it's going to also kind of do a domino effect with revenue for the town, right? So if it's not being enforced, people take up more than one spot, guess what? There's consequences, right? You know, there's fines and things like that that could occur from that. Not that we want to kind of take advantage of that, but I think it's something that we need to kind of set a rule into play, because there has to be some sort of structure. We've seen that many places. One car takes up 2 spots, that's a loss right there. So that would be a win for the residents. And also, if we're going to validate that people live in Kearny, that's a win as well. If we can, you know, eliminate people that are not registered in Kearny or not living in Kearny and park in Kearny, and we can get rid of that one or two individuals, again, one space is a win for the residents. So there are many solutions that we could really tackle. You know, we just have to take an approach of doing some strategic planning, enforcing them once we're in office, so that way we can, you know, speak on behalf of the residents that have brought this to our attention. As far as taxes, bigger problem as well, and I think it goes hand in hand with the budget. So what's happening here is we haven't audited the budget, and I think that's something that has to happen. We need to know where the money is going, right? It's really unfortunate to see that many of the streets are not well maintained. Many of the residents, you know, talk about not having their streets paved for a while. Potholes all over the place. So when we hear of people's taxes going up and not having the proper maintenance, that's a problem. That's what we have to look into. So those are the solutions that we want to bring to the table. How are we going to fix, or where can we save in the budget, right? Once that happens, the money has to go back to the people. We have to be able to fix the potholes that are damaging cars. Somebody can get hurt if they walk in it. That's a big safety concern as well. And moving into safety, it's really a matter of a phone call. Let's talk to the police department. Let's make sure that, you know, they're doing what they have to do. I'm very pro-police. I'm very, you know, I respect them very highly. But let's just make sure that the residents are getting that security that they need, right? You know, hearing about break-ins in Kearny, it's very unfortunate to hear that. But again, the more surveillance they can do, more patrolling we can see more of that, people will leave us alone and they'll go somewhere else, hopefully nowhere else, right? But at least it keeps some safety in mind to the residents.
Thank you, Anthony. We are about 3 minutes from the end of this decision, Kearny. I'd like to go back to Sydney once again. Sydney, I'd like to give you, we have 3 minutes, so I thought that 1 minute for you, 30 seconds for each one. Your closing remarks and again, your message.
Okay. So thank you everyone for watching. And thank you to all those who have already made up their decision and are voting for us. We will do our best to bring the change that you want for Kearny. This isn't about us. You know, many of us, you know, we are successful in what we do. We live happy lives. It's not easy for us to do this. It's a lot of hard work, but we do it because we love the town that we live in, and we love a lot of you, a lot of people who we met on the street. We feel for the things that you're going through, and that's what drives us to continue to do this, because it's not easy. And so we would really appreciate the opportunity to be able to work for you. You know, and that comes from everyone here. They've all done their parts. I know that Smiley works people in the community, and you know, he gives out free meals to people and does so much, you know, gives to so many charities. Margarita has been working her butt off for people in her neighborhood as well. Even though she doesn't have she never had a flooding issue in her house. She never had parking issues because she has a driveway. She did it for others because she cares. George, he's helped with, you know, he does so much work with charity. He does the Kearny uniform, the Kearny Public Schools uniform exchange program for free with his brother. He launders the clothes for free for them. Thousands of uniforms. So thank you for that, George. Thank you for your commitment to the community. And Tony is going to be working for the community. He's done things on his own as far as, like, you know, donating and stuff to different charities, but he's also going to be working for the community, especially with his finance expertise. We're going to be going through that budget together because I come from a finance background as well. I'm passionate about finance. That's why I always tell people taxes are so important, because it affects everything. It affects rents, especially, and it also affects everything else that we can do. We can't do what we want to do if we don't have our budget in order. And right now we don't have our budget in order, and so that's why I brought in Tony, who I worked with in finance in the past, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna roll up our sleeves, we're gonna get into that budget, and we're gonna see exactly what's going on, along with our team. We have a team of experts that are going to donate their time to go through that budget with us. Former leaders of the town.
Thank you, Sidney. Smiley, a couple of seconds, 30 seconds, if you don't mind.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much for listening and making a decision, and hopefully we will do it what you guys are asking us, and we will of course run as we are running right now. Same way, any question in the future as well, you guys can reach to us anytime, and we will help to improve everything back to the old way, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Margarita?
I just want to say to the residents that I'm here to work for you. I want to be your voice, 100% my support, and I'm here to work and do my best with the team. Thank you so much.
Thank you. George?
In closing, I sincerely appreciate your support and your, to try to do something better for the town. I also want to say that it is my intention to do this for free. I don't want a salary. I'm going to donate it back to some organizations in town. This is not about profit for me. This is about me giving back to the town that has given me and my family everything we've had over the last 57 years.
Thank you, George. Anthony?
So it's very simple. Give us the opportunity to make that change happen. Many people have been in office for many years, and there's been no results. Give us the opportunity. We're asking for your support, for your vote, of course. We need to make sure that we're given that opportunity to see that those problems that are coming to us are being worked. Very transparent. If things cannot be done, we will talk to you. We will tell you why. And we were going to try other options, other alternatives, because we need to see that change happen. And these are things that are all because of the people, right? We're going to listen to you. So we all here want to be your representatives. We want to be your advocates, and we will be your voice. We will voice things. We will try to work the best that we can for everything that is coming to our attention. So thank you for the opportunity again, and we hope that we can make things happen for everybody.
Thank you.
Rick, do you have just like 20 seconds or something?
Yes, yes.
So I want to expand on that, because I think that that's very important. That's another problem that we hear from residents, the listening part. They're just not being listened to, right? And when they make a complaint, and they're called complainers, we're all called complainers as residents, it's totally out of line, but I don't think it's complaints. I appreciate the opportunity that I've left. My phone number is on every single piece of literature. I don't want to hide from anyone. I'm here. If you have questions, if you have concerns, look at a piece of literature, my phone number is on the back. Every single one, because that's the kind of mayor that I want to be. And I know for a fact that these people around me are the same way. They're going to be giving out their phone numbers. They're going to be asking for you to tell us what the issues are, because we can't fix the issues if we don't know about it. And we do know about a lot of the issues because we've been walking for a very long time. But there are things out there that we need to know that we don't know about. And so that's the kind of mayor that we want. We want to be, we're results driven. We're solutions based, and that's what we want to do. So that's why my phone number is on there. We're going to be open. We're going to be transparent with people, because that's not what they're getting from this administration currently. Lots of excuses and being told like, well, we don't need to do that. There's no solution for that, and people don't want to hear excuses. We want to hear, you know what? I hear your problem. I hear you out. Really, I'm going to try to do my best, and really try. We have to really try, and then what we have to do is we have to get back to people and give them and follow up. That's very important. Any job that you go to, you follow up.
Appreciate you guys. Sidney, thank you for this opportunity. Smiley, Margarita, George and Anthony, thank you. Caros amigos aí em casa, este foi a decisão Kearny. Na próxima segunda-feira teremos aqui também o outro time, o time democrata, que terá exatamente 39 minutos, porque passámos um bocadinho e queremos ser corretos e fair para todos vocês. Aí em casa, a decisão será sua no dia 4 de novembro, que ganhe o melhor. Ricky Durães, WNN, tenha uma ótima noite.